Well, hello there. It is dark because I was supposed to be at work like 2-3 hours ago, something like that. You shouldn't be surprised. I have this really bad habit of sleeping way too long, and I sleep way too long because I don't sleep enough. I don't go to bed when I should go to bed because I can't, because I'm up all night, usually reading conspiracies and listening to Journey and all that good stuff. But because I don't go to bed in time, that makes me like oversleep. Now I know, Vortex, this isn't your problem, but I'm just letting you know what's going on over here. Somebody asked me recently why I'm not shooting videos on the toilet anymore, as if that was something that I was regularly doing. That might have been something that I did sometimes. The whole reason why I do that is because social norms are stupid. Like that's really the only reason that I did that. It's not because I want that kind of attention, though I realize that if I do something like that, I can't control how people perceive it. I can't control how people misinterpret it for their own personal reasons. I'd like to talk about something that I wanted to talk about a long time ago, but I didn't talk about it because I felt like a shithead. I felt like a shithead because, let's face it, Aimless does not have opinions that are conventional. And I've never been a conventional person. I never will be a conventional person. And that's why I would feel myself taking a shit, because, you know, let's face it, my best thoughts are on the toilet. But, yeah, so, okay, this is not going to sound pretty, but I realize that nothing that I say is going to sound pretty ever, so just fuck it, you know? I have this duty to be myself at all costs, and everybody has that duty, you guys. It's just that a lot of people, they don't know who they are. And even if they were something authentic, they would be told to keep that shit under wraps because of how offensive it is to be authentic. I know that me taking a crap and talking about the Jews is like authentic, you know, like nobody's doing that shit, literally. Nobody's doing that. And just saying it out loud is funny, you know, like yeah, today I shot a video on the toilet and I talked about a lot of stuff that was important to me. You know, like, that's funny. Because there are different levels of funny. There's like the ha-ha funny, and then there's the funny. And then there's the, like, you laugh, 10 minutes later, funny. There's the, I'm gonna point at this because this is ridiculous, funny. There are many other levels I'm not even talking about, but, I'd like to talk about somebody that is really funny. His name's Louis C.K. And he was very, mistreated, I think. Now, it is my humble opinion that women love to play the victim. I tried looking at this from a different lens. And with me, I look at things from as many lenses as possible so that I'm not misguided. So that I'm not underrepresenting a particular side, like maybe that's not convenient for me to look at, right? Because I don't want to be like all the people that I can't stand. But I feel like I'm eating my head trying to understand how people can think that they're the victim of something that was totally consensual. It's like, say Louis C.K. hadn't taken those ungrateful bitches, if you ask me, say he hadn't taken them to a hotel. Say he took them to a movie. And he asked them what movie they wanted to see, and you know, they didn't respond. And he was like, all right, well, I want to see this piece of shit. And I don't even know, like, what movies are out right now, because I don't care, because they're all a bunch of like, virtue signaling crap. But, what was that movie about having sex with fish? What was that? I don't remember. I don't remember what that was. I think you guys know what movie I'm talking about though, but just trying to think of a crappy movie. Okay, what if it's like a horror movie? I haven't seen the new rendition of It. I've heard that it's good. I'm a huge fan of that book, and I think that the original, like the TV, like, you know, the made-for-TV version of it, back in the 90s, and it was fucking terrible. Well, actually, the first half of it wasn't bad, because the child actors were really good. It was just like the adult actors were terrible, which is rare. It's usually the other way around. But I didn't see the movie. I didn't see the new one anyway. But let's use that one. Let's say Louis C.K., instead of jerking off in front of those ungrateful bitches, he took them out to a movie. And he asked them if they wanted to see the new It. And they said yes, even though they were afraid of clowns. Yeah, this is good. This is a good analogy. Okay, thank you. They're afraid of clowns, but they still see this movie. They still go watch it. They watch the whole fucking thing. Then they act like they liked it. Then they act like they had a good time. And then the next day, they try to tattle on him to his fucking manager. It's probably not a good analogy anymore, but oh well. We're still gonna go with it. Do you guys like this video where like half of my head is cut off? You really have to appreciate what I'm saying in order to watch this. Sorry about that. One of these days, I'm gonna get better at this shit. One of these days, not being today. But anyway. It's like women think that they don't have to take responsibility for anything that happens to them. It's like women just think that they are hurled into these situations and they don't have any choice in the matter. And that's not true. That's not fucking true. I can understand how those women would be traumatized if they weren't grown-ass women. Say if they were like, you know, children, or maybe even their early teens. I would say that would be a traumatic thing to watch a grown-ass man play with himself. But they're not children. They're just acting like children. Okay? They could have left. They could have told him how they felt, which would be a lot more constructive, because how the fuck is he gonna know that behavior is not acceptable if they don't tell him that? And they're grown-ass women with mouths and voices and shit. They act like they don't have any of that. The only way that they have a voice is through fucking Twitter. I mean, just the whole, like, tattling on him, I mean, that's just funny. If they were, like, decent comics, they could have seen the humor of that situation. But they weren't decent comics. They should have never been allowed to have a microphone in their hand in the first goddamn place. And I know that sounds mean, or it sounds insensitive, or whatever the fuck, but, like, I mean, it's women that are trying to kill comedy. It's women that are killing due process and the First Amendment, the Second Amendment. Like, they are trying to obliterate the Constitution. That's what they're doing. Thank God Hillary didn't get elected. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I know I said I wouldn't say her name, but you're falling back on your promises. You gotta keep these campaign promises, Amy. I know I do. Yeah, but I wanted to talk about that. I think that the reason why Louis C.K. got in so much trouble is because, let's just face it, you guys, people are so weird about masturbation. They are. I mean, it makes people feel uncomfortable. Like, if you even say the word masturbation, it can quiet a room like the N-word. Not nigga, but nigger, that one. Unless, of course, you're white and you say it. It doesn't matter which version you say, people are still going to get mad about it because they don't understand what context is. But anyway, what was I saying? Louis, masturbation. Oh, okay, so what I was going into before about taking a shit, that's a social norm. That people are weird about pooping, just like people are weird about masturbating, just like people are weird about emotions. If it's a human thing, people don't like it, and they want to act like they don't do it. And that's why they lumped him in the same category as fucking Harvey Weinstein. Because don't y'all know that playing with yourself in front of a grown-ass woman after you ask her, hey, can I do this? And they're like, yeah, totally. I'm sure that's exactly what they did. Because they didn't want to disappoint him. Because he was, like, on some level their hero, right? He's not a fucking predator. The fact that women would conflate something like that with being a predator, that's the thing. Predators don't ask. Predators don't fucking go, like, okay, fine. Fine. You want me to switch lanes? I'll switch lanes, you piece of shit. Ugh, God. I think that they're just confused as to what you're doing. They're just like, why the fuck does she have a lantern? It's not a real lantern, though. It's like it's battery operated. It's not a fucking lantern. We're not make-believing that we're, like, in the early 1800s or whatever. I really should look up Thomas Edison. Anyway, being a predator is a very serious thing. So the fact that, like, one of my favorite comics as somebody that I look up to quite a bit, was labeled a predator. All because he consensually did something, and maybe they didn't realize like what he was doing. But that's what I don't understand. It's like they don't think they have a responsibility to themselves to tell somebody how they feel. Oh, it's up to the rest of the world, right? Well, see, this is the problem with a lot of people in this world, is they think that they can like implement some sort of law that's going to change the way that people behave. But I mean, really great example of how that doesn't work. Hold on 1 second, okay? I want you guys to see this for yourselves. Chicago. A really great example of how human nature supersedes. Gun control doesn't work. I'm sure that rape control wouldn't work either. Now, thought control works, though, thanks to psychiatry. Yes! People voluntarily subject themselves to having their brains molested by the likes of Larry Nassar. Really, I make that comparison because most psychiatrists don't give a fuck. I mean, I don't have much respect for the medical profession because of this kind of shit. Because it seems like more doctors than not take advantage of the public, and they're in a position of authority. Like, they have a lot more power than a lot of other people. It's just like if a police officer takes advantage of their authority, I mean, I think that there should be really, really strict punishment for people that abuse their power. And like, that's the thing, like, women seem to think that, oh, if a man has a job, that means he has power over her. That's not true. I mean, I can cite example after example after example of how people, like, exercise their power in a really horrible way. And it's funny that these same women that would probably take SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, that have a black box warning label on them by the FDA, the strongest warning label that you could possibly get, on these antidepressants. And supposedly you have to take or you're going to commit suicide, right? How much you want to bet that like every single female comic, and by comic I just mean female, female, because that's all they want to talk about, that's all they want to focus on. It's not funny. It just makes me mad. It makes me mad when people capitalize on this kind of shit. It's not like you can control being a woman. Oh, I guess technically now you can, but I mean, that's not a choice. If it's not a choice, they're like, why are you being empowered by it? It doesn't make any sense to me. Especially when all they do is fucking whine about having vaginas in the first place. All they do is whine about their menstrual cycle, whine about getting pregnant, whine about how the government won't pay for their abortion, all this shit. And then they want to act like they're empowered when they just let men walk all over them and they can't even defend themselves and tell them like, hey, what you just did was fucked up and I don't appreciate it. Like, say it had been me in that hotel room. I would have saved that fucking semen. I would have eaten it. But no, if that had been me, like, this would have been my reaction. Whoa! I already know. Because I can understand them, like, not knowing that he was serious, especially considering the fact that he regularly, you know, does this number on stage, right? You gotta know he's a dirty fucking comic. Come on, girls, little girls, whiny little 5-year-old girls. They want to pretend that you're in your 20s and 30s and that you have brains. It's like women, the only thing they want you to know about them is that they have a vagina. Because they're not gonna do anything else with the brain that they have, with the heart that they have, with the compassion that they supposedly have. And I'm not gonna say, well, that just makes all women look bad. But, I mean, it does. But you know, they don't speak for all of us. They don't. No matter what they like to say in these speeches and Twitter feeds and all that crappy crap. But, what was I saying about Louis? Yeah, if he had jerked off in front of me, I didn't realize he was joking, and then I realized that he was joking, or not joking, rather, I would have been like, oh, this is not what I wanted to see. No, it wasn't, Louis. Put that dick back in your pants or I'm leaving this hotel room. Like, why is that so hard to stick up for yourself? I mean, I know that it is. I know that it is. Trust me. I work in food service. Maybe these women just need to work in food service. Because if they worked in food service, they wouldn't... I'll turn this off. If they worked in food service, they'd realize, like, what to take personally and what not to take personally. And I think that a lot of times women can lie to themselves and say that they've been violated and all this shit. When really, I don't think that... The whole predator thing... Like, it's very suggestive, like that, you know, that person knew what they were doing. They knew this hurt that they were causing them, and they didn't care, and it was all about them, and whatever the fuck they wanted at the time. And, like, I don't get that from his comedy at all. Maybe I'm totally wrong about it. Maybe he is a fucking monster, and I'm just, being nice because I'm a fan of his. But really and truly, I mean, I've defended people that I don't think are funny at all. I've defended Aziz Ansari. I've defended Chris Hardwick. Who else? Right? It's the long list. Oh my god, it's just fucking ridiculous. Even Kevin Spacey. A lot of people think he's some kind of monster. I'm like, what? Because he he had sex with that, or he tried to have sex with Anthony Rapp. That, how old was Anthony at the time? Was he like 15? Like, I don't know. I have a hard time thinking of people as victims when they're, like, you know, able to defend themselves. And also, another thing is that these people wait for fucking ever to talk about it. And they need to not do that. If something, like, legitimately bad happens to you, you need to talk about it when it happens, to people that can actually do something about it, you know? It's just what frustrates me, is that it's like, if these people are actual victims, they want something to actually be done about it. And because they're not actual victims and they're just a bunch of whiners, they don't realize that they have a choice. I mean, that's what the Me Too movement has taught us. That's what the Time's Up movement has taught us. Like, women do not believe that they have choices. They want to jump up and shout about it. My body, my choice, 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 my body, my choice. It's not a tattoo, girlfriend. It's a life. The thing is, like, I mean, I would be fine with it if they could just, like, acknowledge that. You know, if you want to fucking rip it out, it's yours, right? And I do think that the life and the liberty of that little fetus is important too, but there's no way to win with this, you guys. There's no way to win. I would love to debate Ben Shapiro on this shit, just because I think it would be fun. I love talking about abortion. It's my favorite thing to talk about. Also because I'm adopted. Also because I was born on Thanksgiving Day. So I feel like I have to talk about it. But yeah, women don't have choices. They just you know, have to succumb to whatever white men, cis white men preferably, sometimes black men, sometimes. Bill Cosby's going down finally, right? Like, why? Like, I just don't see the point. I don't understand
And besides, it's past the statute of limitations. I mean, like, I don't understand, like, what kind of point they're proving. Like, he's an old-ass motherfucker. He's gonna die in, like, 3 years. Like, what's the point of, like, taking his ass to prison? But, you know, whatever. I don't know. I'm probably very wrong, very uneducated, very ignorant, very stupid, very selfish, self-centered, self-absorbed, but at least I haven't had an abortion. Not yet. But I believe in choices because I'm a libertarian. I'm also a capitalist. And so sometimes when I feel like I'm in a situation and I'd rather not be in the situation, I realize that I can take myself right out of it just by walking away or speaking up, standing up for myself, standing up for other people. See, women don't know how to do that. They know how to go on social media and make waves, right? Waves on shitter. Okay, so I do appreciate you guys watching my stuff, whether the reason is because you want to watch me poop or because you want to listen to me rant and rave about the same shit that I always rant and rave about because it's never going anywhere. Thank you. I'll see y'all later. Bye.